Yoriichi Tsugikuni vs Killer 7, the matchup between the strongest demon slayer and past strongest assassin. Yoriichi Tsugikuni being well known for his immense strength throughout the realm of not just demon slayers but demons themselves, being considered to be the most powerful demon slayer in the history of humans. Yoriichi having the strength to defeat any opponent who is possessed with demonic abilities because he is able to effortlessly cut through both flesh and bone. With his excellent swordsmanship and knowledge of the sun-breathing technique, he is a very dangerous opponent for anyone on the battlefield. When it comes to swords, the ability to possess maximal and infinite skill is a powerful ability. Absolute version of enhanced swordsmanship, variation of absolute weapon proficiency. Yoriichi Tsugikuni was born in Japan during the Sengoku period, and he spent his childhood learning the way of the sword. As he matured, he developed into a great fighter, becoming an expert in the sun-breathing technique, quickly learning and becoming one of the most powerful demon slayers, rooting himself into ancient history. On the battlefield, Yoriichi was a feared warrior due to his immense strength and his known abilities scaring demons not only throughout their physical form, but their soul. Because of his unwavering commitment to his trade and his readiness to risk everything in order to safeguard the people he cared about, he earned a widespread reputation. Due to the activities of Muzan Kibutsuji, the ultimate demon lord, his story was unfortunately cut short sooner than it should have been. Yoriichi's power and drive made him a really fearsome opponent, and his reputation lingers on, even centuries after his death. As a kid, he was able to three-shot his instructor, Yoriichi, the only known individual with the Demon Slayer mark who has crossed the age of 25 and is now over 80 years old. He is still able to move like he did when he was in his prime. His twin sibling, being the second strongest demon, only below Muzan himself, admits that he could never reach the strength of Yoriichi. With characters like Muzan being able to hold back Kiyomi, Sanemi, Giyu, Obanai, Mitsuri, Zenitsu, Inosuke, and Kaneo all at the same time, and later one-shotting all of them after getting serious, while doing all of this in his weakened state. But this Demon King was thrown onto his knees by Yoriichi himself, with his only chance to escape Yoriichi being to split himself into 1800 parts and reconnect later. After Muzan exploded his body with immense force into 1800 pieces of flesh, Yoriichi chopped 1500 pieces on the spot in under 1 second, but the last 300 pieces were too small for him to cut, allowing Muzan to escape. He then confronted his demon brother, Mijikatsu, now known as upper rank number 1, Kokushibo. Yoriichi then stepped into a fighting stance, and Kokushibo remarked that the air seemed very heavy with Yoriichi's threatened aura. Yoriichi alerted Kokushibo that he was going to strike, but despite that he blitzed Kokushibo so fast before he could react. Afterwards, Yoriichi died standing on his feet with his blade still red. Not even death can drop Yoriichi to his knees. His strength and speed was no different than when he was in his peak, this being the same Kokushibo who upscales from the likes of Doma and Akaza. Doma being able to make gigantic ice sculpture scaling to the top 3 upper moons and everyone above them, and Akaza as the upper rank 3 is superior than Zohikuten, the upper rank 4, who has the combined strength of Karaku, Sekido, Aizetsu, and Yusoki, and he fought and eventually overpowered and marked Giyu Tomioka. He should be considerably superior to Kaigaku, who is comparable to Zenitsu. Zenitsu then goes to blitz and suppress Kaigaku. Zenitsu replicates the speed of lightning with his breath, can even surpass it. Kaigaku then launches his lightning assault, which Zenitsu blitzes past without even being struck. This achievement should place Zenitsu at Mach 1830, or massively hypersonic plus speeds. Yoriichi's fighting spirit being so calm and deadly, making him difficult to detect and utterly unexpected, and the see-through world allows Yoriichi to see people's bone structure, muscles, and blood through, allowing him to forecast when an attacker would attack, and also makes him view the world moving in slow motion. Overall, Yoriichi is scaling to multi-city block level with massively hypersonic plus speeds, but is this anything compared to Killer 7's powers? Watch the rest of the video to find out.
Killer 7. Killer 7 was born in Xuanwu as a prodigy, born with a gift in chi manipulation, and at some point came in contact with the leader of the Killers League. Later, at the age of 15, he joined the Shadow Killers with the recommendation of the leader himself. This caused some suspicion in the league, especially Redtooth, as nobody has heard of him and had no killing history. This led Redtooth to try and kill him. In this fight, 7 proved that he is talented warrior, who is able to fight of Redtooth with just normal sword. But fight was cut short by Green Phoenix. After this, he tells him that he would have won if his sword had been of better quality. So he tells him the location of 1,000 Demon Daggers, warns him about the demon protecting it. The 1,000 Demon Daggers is a magical sword whose blade is made up of 1,000 sword fragments. A skilled QE user can manipulate the individual fragments of the 1,000 demon daggers to change the shape and size of the sword, or use only the fragments in offense or defense. 7 sets his eyes on obtaining it and set off to take the national treasure of the country Shenduan, which was guarded by the Millennium Dark Spirit. With the best sword in the world, he quickly became the strongest assassin in the world. During one of his missions, he assassinated a client of Captain Jack before he was paid. Out of anger, he charges him. Without any hesitation, 7 counterattacks and slashed him on his entire torso, almost killing him. During one other missions, his target was the master of the thumb martial arts, whose student Ouyang Zan witnessed the assassination. But on one fateful mission, he met the girl in white, who was targeted by the Xuanwu assassins. Despite him telling himself about the killer's code, he saved her, not knowing this would lead to his downfall. Later on, he was surrounded by assassins on a stone bridge. The girl in white stabbed him in the chest. 7 then used the 1,000 demon daggers to destroy the bridge, which led everyone to think he has died, but in reality, he ended up washed up on a beach of Chicken Island. This leads of him forgetting his Killer 7 persona, making him into goofy guy we all know and love. Later, 7 is hired by an overweight woman to assassinate her husband if he brings another woman. 7 tries to confront his target, but was stopped by the impervious bodyguard He Dachun, who points a gun at 7. This makes 7 hesitant as Dachun tells him to fight like a man. He tries to fight him in hand-to-hand combat as the narwhal ate his scissors, and when he knows he can't win, he tries a sneak attack on his target to try and kill them, where Dachun prevents him from killing his target using the solid as gold 7-day lock. Then 7 sees something in the distance, and Dachun takes a closer look and recalls that it looks like a missile coming to Chicken Island. They both run to the beach where he manages to force himself to release 7 in order to sacrifice his body as a shield to protect the inhabitants. Dachun takes full blow head-on and survive with minor injuries. After this, 7 stands in the of what is left of the pair, where he comes face to face with the Prince of Stan. He asks if he was the one who stopped his missiles. 7 doesn't say anything to where the Prince of Stan uses he faces recognition and was able to recognize 7's past identity as strongest shadow killer. 7 taped into his killer persona, ready to face Prince of Stan, who is taking energy from Chicken Island, affecting tectonic plates. Weaker, 7 was also able to tank building-level blasts without getting damaged. 7 extends his sword and then cut that robot fairly easy. This calced at city block levels of power. 7 will also outscales Prince of Stan, who performs small-town level plus feats while holding back and after being jumped by everyone. Weaker 7 is able to dodge light speed attacks at 3.5 meters away from him, putting him at around 10% speed of light or sub-relativistic plus. Although 7 appears inept and incompetent, he is actually a skill strategist and capable fighter when focused. He has gone toe-to-toe with the Assassin League's best fighters and came out on top with his unorthodox techniques and unique fighting style. When tapping into his Wu Liuqi persona, he is a masterful and brilliant swordsman whose skills can impress Assassin League elites such as Qing Feng. Overall, Killer 7 scales to large, town to arguably island level, with sub-relativistic plus speeds. So who would win in fight? Killer 7 or Yoriichi Tsugikuni? The winner is Killer 7.